In a small town nestled between mountains and rivers lived an old monk named Tenzin. He had no wealth, no family, and no possessions. Yet people traveled from faraway cities just to sit in silence beside him. It wasn't what he said that changed lives, but what he didn't. His presence alone felt like a calm wind that could blow the noise out of any troubled heart. One rainy morning, a young man named Rohan arrived. He was restless, anxious, always chasing something: money, respect, validation, but never finding peace. "Master," Rohan said, bowing low, "I've read every book, watched every video, attended every seminar, yet my mind is full of fear, pressure, confusion. Teach me how to find peace." The old monk simply smiled and said, "Let us have tea first." Rohan waited eagerly, expecting some deep wisdom with every sip. But as the monk began pouring tea into his cup, something strange happened. The cup filled to the brim, but Tenzin didn't stop. The tea overflowed, spilling all over the table. "Master?" Rohan shouted, "It's full. It can't take more." The monk paused, looked at him and said, "Exactly. Your mind is like this cup. How can I pour peace into a mind that's already overflowing with noise?" Rohan froze. For the first time, a lesson didn't come in words. It came in silence, in action. That day, Tenzin said nothing else. Rohan stayed in the monastery for 1 week. No phones, no books, no talking. Just waking up with the sunrise, helping in the kitchen, walking barefoot in the forest, and sitting in silence beside the old monk. At first, it was unbearable. His mind screamed, his ego resisted. Every silence felt like a punishment, but slowly, something began to shift. The noise in his head started to fade. His thoughts became slower, clearer. He began to hear birds he had never noticed before. He felt the warmth of the ground beneath his feet, the softness of the wind on his face, the rise and fall of his breath. One evening, after 7 days, Rohan spoke. "I feel lighter, but I've learned nothing," he said honestly. The monk looked up and replied, "You've learned everything. You just haven't realized it yet." That night, Rohan sat under a tree and stared at the stars, not with questions, but with peace. He remembered moments in his life that were buried under noise. He remembered his mother's soft lullaby when he was a child. He remembered how he used to draw for hours, not for praise, but for joy. He remembered his father who used to say, "Still water reflects the stars." Rohan had always thought stillness was weakness, but now it felt like strength. The next morning, as he prepared to leave, Tenzin handed him an empty jar. "Take this," the monk said, "and every time your mind gets too full, empty it, not by doing more, but by being less." Rohan didn't understand at first, but he accepted it. Back in the city, life roared back. Honking cars, deadlines, buzzing phones. But Rohan was different. He would pause before reacting. He would walk without music. He would sit in silence for 5 minutes every morning. And slowly, the jar he carried became a symbol, not of what he had, but what he had released: anger, pride, impatience. Months passed. People noticed. "You've changed," they said. "You're calm, you're different." Rohan would simply smile and say, "I just emptied my mind." He began painting again, not for social media, not for money, just for himself. He started visiting his parents more, sitting quietly with them. He stopped arguing to win and started listening to understand. And in that stillness, he found power, not the power of controlling others, but the rare power of mastering yourself. One day, Rohan received a call. The old monk had passed away peacefully under the same tree they had once shared silence beneath. Rohan returned to the monastery. It was quiet. The wind was soft. He walked to the tree, sat down, and opened the jar he had once been given. He placed it on the soil, whispered thank you, and closed his eyes. For a moment he felt the monk's presence, not in voice, not in form, but in the gentle hush of his heart. He finally understood. The mind doesn't need to be filled to grow. It needs space, stillness, room to breathe, and in that emptiness, the soul begins to speak. Moral of the story is emptying your mind doesn't mean losing who you are, it means shedding who you're not. In silence, we hear the truth. In stillness, we meet ourselves. Let go of the noise. Let go of the need to be more. Just be, and in that being, everything you seek will find you.
If this story touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Maybe it'll help them. And if you believe stories like these deserve to be heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to Life Lessons Library. Your one click keeps these stories alive.